I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Goddamn Blade. I should have killed you a long time ago. You talk too much.
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another Patreon review, this time for Chaz Herring. Sorry if I got the name wrong. Thank you so much for pledging to the Patreon. If anyone's ever interested in pledging to the Patreon, supporting the channel, the link is down below. Or if you're ever interested in sending a movie request or a topic request, you just send it via PayPal, and the link for that's down below too. And the review for today is Street Hunter from 1990, which I was a bit curious about because it's one of the few films to star Steve James. The other film being Riverbend, which I haven't seen but I've heard of. In fact, my friend Mike, OCB Communications, did a great job in his review. That was when he was going to do like review one VHS a day. It was called VHS 365. It didn't work out because that's a tall order, a lot of work, but it's a really good review. And Street Hunter, for those who don't even know Steve James, people might not even know who Steve James is. Does it going to sound stupid, maybe? But he was the precursor, in my opinion, to Michael Jai White and Wesley Snipes. If you did a Blade film in the 80s, you would have Steve James play it. Because Steve James, to me, he had a presence, he was good in the action front, but he also had a sense of humor. And sadly, he did not get a lot of movie roles, and when he did, it was mainly supporting work. He was the buddy or sidekick of Michael Dudikoff in American Ninja 1 and 2 and Avenging Force. All good movies, which I reviewed on the channel. My favorite being American Ninja 2. And he worked well with Michael Dudikoff. He was the sidekick to David Bradley in American Ninja 3, although to me Steve James is the only thing worth watching American Ninja 3, and he's having a lot of fun in that. He had supporting roles in Chuck Norris films like The Delta Force and The Hero and the Terror, which sadly he was very underused in that movie. He was in the film I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, where he was playing kind of a Jim Kelly. Jim Carrey, that'd be a different type. Jim Kelly from Enter the Dragon, like that type of character. Jim Kelly, not Terry. But Steve James always liked him. And after this, he didn't get to do a lot. I mean, he was in Weekend at Bernie's 2 in a small supporting role, more comedic role. Some TV work. Sadly, he passed away around 1993 with pancreatic cancer. He was around 41 years old and way too young, way too soon. Like I said, the guy, he handled the action scenes well. He had presence, he had charisma, he had a sense of humor. Just a really underrated guy. So many films I would love to have seen him done and be a part of. It's really sad. And that's what makes this film a bit disappointing. It's not a rant. I didn't hate it because it was still fun to see Steve James in a lead role. But sadly, the film is just not that exciting. It's not that action-packed. It's not that unique. Steve James is good. The villain is Reb Brown, and yeah, he's really bad in it. But usually in his films, he's Other than Uncommon Valor, I think he's sincerely good in Uncommon Valor, which I reviewed on here multiple times. It's a 1983 film with Gene Hackman, Patrick Swayze, Fred Ward, Tim Thomerson. Criminally underrated movie, and Reb Brown's solid in that. But there's movies where he's either a lot of fun in a bad way, like Strike Commando, which is good for a laugh, is entertaining in a bad way. He's over the top in films like Robo War. And sadly with this, for some reason the filmmakers thought Reb Brown needed to be more stoic and emotionless and no energy. I'm going, no, that's not playing to Reb Brown's strength. Reb Brown's strength is being crazy and energetic and yelling, and he does scream. For people who don't know Reb Brown, look up montage. Just type in Reb Brown montage. Believe me, trust me, just type Reb Brown montage. Do it now. That's the Reb Brown you need in movies, not stoic, emotionless. Bad decision on that front. It's like, cool, it's Reb Brown. He's bad, but he's not the fun bad in Strike Commando. He's kind of the just flat out bad, dry, wooden. John Leguizamo is in this as a guy who is a leader, one of these drug gangs, and John Leguizamo's hired Reb Brown and his commandos to help him take over and wipe out the other gang members. And Steve James is an ex-cop. Now he's a bounty hunter. And he's trying to get John Leguizamo, and Reb Brown and his men are standing in his way. But like I said, Steve James is fun. Reb Brown's bad, but it's still nice to see Reb Brown in a movie because I don't mind him as a personality. John Leguizamo, interesting to see an early role from him. This is well before Super Mario Brothers and Executive Decision, even like plentiful films he did after this. It's one of those movies that it's a direct-to-video film and it feels it. It feels a certain cheapness. It does feel a certain low-budgetness. You get a little kick out of Steve James. He's wearing a hat and a coat like he's a gunslinger. A funny bit is that early on, John Leguizamo kicks over a tombstone and it looks like it's made out of styrofoam. Now, granted, I don't know if the movie was trying to tell us, well, yeah, they put a fake tombstone there because that's where they hid the drugs. It just looks like he kicked over a tombstone that's from an Ed Wood movie. So it just kind of laughable. Like I said, John Leguizamo and his gang hire Reb Brown, who does scream and shoot, and that was fun. That worked. You know, you gotta have Reb Brown screaming and shooting. Kills the other dealers. And there's a couple of alright moments of action where Steve James gets to kick some ass. But sadly, it's not a lot of hand-to-hand fighting, which is sad because he can handle himself in hand-to-hand fighting. I've seen this in American Ninja films, especially American Ninja 2 and 3. And no, he's not Jean-Claude Van Damme. He's not Michael Jai White and the fluid mobility. But for his size, his build, I thought he did a fairly solid job making us believe that he could do it and that he was trained in this sort of thing. And I don't understand, for what I gather, this was sort of a pet project for Steve James, why he would make a film with not a lot of hand-to-hand fighting to showcase what he can do. That's the thing, this movie needed a better wave of action sequences, meaning more, a lot more. I mean, not just quick shots of, okay, he shotguns 2 people, he shoots 2 people. Oh yeah, he has a pet dog who's with him, which is fun. And, you know, grabs one guy and he shoots the guy. You get some entertaining dialogue, like Steve James going, he has a lot of friends, and they're mean mama jamas. I'm like, mama jamas? Mean mama jamas. Or mama jamas, however you want to put it. I mean, the plot, he gets his bounty, which is John Leguizamo, after Reb Brown and his guys leave, so Steve James gets him. John Leguizamo's caught. He's in transport. Reb Brown and his team break John Leguizamo out. They kill all the cops, including a guy who's a friend of Steve James. So Steve James wants to find John Leguizamo and also take care of Reb Brown and his gang. But the movie just sort of stops and doesn't really do anything. I mean, you have this whole deal with him and his girlfriend that I didn't care about. His girlfriend was a singer. His girlfriend is pissed at him all the time because of his work. And you get the idea their relationship is a lot of friction. There's a point where he stops these two carjackers from trying to get in this car, or his van, I should say. And again, Steve James does the best that he can with his presence and his sense of humor. One of the carjackers, he goes, listen, I'm in a good mood. I'm with my lady. Tell her she's beautiful. Yeah. Tell her she's fine. Yeah, tell her that. Now let her know, man. And that the character has a good heart to him. He realizes one guy's young and he's scared, and he goes, hey, I think I've seen you around here in the neighborhood. Okay, you still going to school? Next time I see you, I want to see a diploma in this hand here, okay? So I just see the potential of the character is just the project. It either needed it needed PM Entertainment type of producers, action, production. If you don't know PM Entertainment, I've reviewed a couple of their films on the channel. Back in the day, PM Entertainment, if you want just straightforward, no bullshit action films with crazy stunt work and a plentiful amount of actions, PM Entertainment is the way to go. Whether it be some films of Jeff Wincott or Gary Daniels. I think they did the Gary Daniels film Riot. I think they also did Rage and Recoil. Jeff Wincott. They did a film called Last Man Standing. Not the Bruce Willis film. This is a different one. Still a very good flick. But they had a lot of action and stunt work. And like, how the hell did they get away with this with the low budgets they had? That's what Steve James needed. Okay, tell you, I mean, if they could do that low budget, a lot of movies can. Or a director, the director who did Drive with Marta Costos, which that was 1997. And they took a low budget and they just went with it, go for broke. And sadly, that was not the case here. It's a lot of stops and starts. A good section of the middle has no action, really nothing going on. He's just talking to different folks. Steve James talking to a mob boss. There's a little trap in a movie theater where he tries to get, someone sets him up. It has like a little fight with a guy who has a knife and he kicks his ass. It's not much of a fight. And it doesn't utilize Steve James' ability to the best. You do have a car chase because there's a dirty cop that reveals himself and he chases the guy. You get some bad dialogue. Like, come on, Logan Blade. That's the character, Steve James, Logan Blade. Come on, Logan Blade, street hunter. Hunt this. I'm like, suck this. And I'm sure people go, well, Matt, how come you're not full on ranting? How come you're not going as hard into this movie as... Maybe because I feel bad. Maybe I'm taking pity. Maybe because it's a time waster at best, and I've seen so much worse. Not only of films lately, but of action films. But if you're a big Steve James fan, it's worth a watch. But I don't think you're going to be picking this off the shelf. Or if you own it, taking it off. Whatever. You're not going to be seeing this. Like I have no interest in seeing the movie again. There's a couple little fun bits. Steve James shoots this like mini harpoon that kills a guy, and he's like, "You talk too much." The movie needed a lot more moments like that stretched throughout. But there's just too much dead air, too much boring, going different parts for information. So it makes the pace sluggish. It's just not a lot of action, not a lot of spectacle. You do feel the low budgetness of it. When at least another him and his girlfriend get caught. And Steve James, again, he's doing what he can. I think he does a good job. Reb Brown, you could maybe say he's good but bad, but a little bit boring bad. And then, of course, at the end, a fun bit where Steve James does get to kill a couple people. I wish he would have had like a big fight scene at the end where he's like kicking people left and right. It's more gun-wise than fisticuffs-wise, which is too bad. I mean, he does kick some ass hand-to-hand, so I'll give that. There's some. I just maybe being greedy, I wanted more, or because there just wasn't a lot throughout the rest of the film, I wanted more. So you do get some fun, probably the best part of the movie, where he shoots and kicks some ass. I'll give it that part, to be fair. But by this point, it's an hour and 20 minutes into the movie, and the movie's almost over. And it's like, okay, yeah, a couple fun little bits, but nothing remarkable or to run home about. Reb Brown, Steve James have a fight. And it's weird because during this fight, now Reb Brown is energetic. I'm going, why weren't you doing this throughout the rest of the film? The rest of the film, you're very deadpan, so serious, and now you're having a little bit of fun. Should have had that throughout the entire movie. And the fight scene is not great because you could tell that Reb Brown has not been trained to be much of a fighter. Steve James has. Reb Brown, you could tell the way he does his kicks, and he's not as well trained in a fighting capacity, and it does show. And Reb Brown's death is hilarious, I'll say that. The way he dies, I went, really?
Let's end it, Walsh.
We should have been friends, Blade. I'm gonna miss you.
Can't say the same about you.
Just, I'm like, and it took me a full minute to go, well, wait a minute, he's dead? Like, that's how he dies? Okay. That seems like something out of Home Alone or a Looney Tunes cartoon, but okay. So there's a couple moments that are either kind of funny or a little bit badass, shooting a guy with a little more harpoon. You talk too much. Couple little fight scenes. Steve James' presence and acting. It's not too long of a film. It's under 90 minutes. Or maybe around the 90-minute mark, give or take. I could see potential Steve James lead. He's a bounty hunter. Don't kick some ass. But there's not a lot of ass kicking. The plot, you've seen it all before. Reb Brown, he's more the boring Reb Brown when he should have been the more like strike commando, energetic, yelling every 5 minutes Reb Brown, like throughout the entire movie. The other supporting characters, fairly forgettable. The lady, the love interest. All I got from her was she was pissed off a lot of Steve James, and probably Steve James' character thinks he's going to get back with the girl. I don't think so. Because the girl seems super pissed. It's like, this is enough. So I just... Okay. John Leguizamo, not much to his character. It was just, oh shit, it's John Leguizamo. Interesting. And he's getting manhandled by Reb Brown and punched in the nose by Steve James. I wonder what John Leguizamo would say about this movie. That'd be interesting to see, an interview with John Leguizamo about the making of this film. And really, there's not much to say. And that's sort of the problem. That's sort of the sad thing. So, no, it's not a rant. I already said the positives. Steve James, I really enjoy. I miss the guy a lot. A couple little fun bits of action, fisticuffs. Reb Brown, even though he's kind of bad, it's still nice to see Reb Brown. I don't mind him as a bad actor. It's kind of fun, or I just something about him I kind of enjoy in a weird way. The character, him having the costume and a pet dog, he has a van. There could be potential. It's just the by the number script, not a lot of action, too much dead air, some kind of weird things like Reb Brown's death. I'm like, okay, it's kind of funny, but is that really how you're gonna? Oh, I guess it is. But either way, thanks for watching. Take care. Those are just my thoughts on Street Hunter. Time waster at best, but still a missed opportunity for Steve James. Thanks once again, Chaz Herring. Thank you to everyone who supported me on Patreon. Again, if you ever want to, feel free, or if you want to send in a PayPal request for a review or movie topic, whatever, links are down below in the info box. Thanks for watching. Take care. We will see you guys later. Bye-bye.